behind the scenes. Now it's I've been theory crafting it, and now I'm like, no, I need to do it. It's basically the switch over to the second edition is causing a lot of confusion about what stuff does, and trying to remember everything because there's so much of it right now. I mean, once hyperspace happens, then it'll be easier. But then once hyperspace happens, it'll be worse because then you go to the system open, and anything can show up again. So let's wait and see. But with regards to this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new screen that shows the cards.
Okay.
A jak będziesz miarkę trzymał na środku, bo nie mam. Znaczy tam zaręcza, nie?
A, proszę.
Bo manewry mam, tylko wiesz.
Możemy grać. Manewry też mogę dać na środek, jeśli sobie
Nie,
życzysz.
manewry. Dobra, to myszka.
Dobrze. Okay.
Stop thinking about stuff because you'll get distracted from what you're doing, Simon.
Mamy stun.
What is it?
Bank account.
Yeah, I didn't know. Is that what you're asking?
Mark Liebold from Germany sent a message that
Tak szybko powiedz, co tam masz jeszcze.
A,
Co
proszę.
jest na bobie?
Na Bobie mam Devil's Gambit.
No, I put the website.
Do tyłu.
So maybe he done it on the website.
Dobra.
Yeah?
Na górze mam Lone Wolfa, sensory, shield upgrade'a.
Okay. So let's get
Jeden shield
up and running and show you these lists. So we've got Marek, Tymek. Now both players. Let me double check what their ranking is. They're on table 5. I believe they're both 3-1 now. There's only one player who is undefeated, and I'd already seen him, so I pushed him down to table
Tak, pewnie.
5, and I think you know what he's playing.
No, fajne podkładki nam dalej.
No, nie będą się ślizgać.
Whisper Headline, Jonas Reimer. Currently undefeated after 4 rounds of Swiss. The only player left undefeated. As I said, it's been a much smaller turnout than what they're used to for this tournament. But even so, the players that have shown up have been very generous, and they've raised. I've not synced up the ships. There we go. Thomas's Jasek's list is now appearing on the screen. So we've got on Marek's side of the table, you've got Braylon Stram and Crackshot, Ten Num with Debris Gambit, Cassian Andor, Tactical Officer, Pivot Wing. Open. I can get rid of the open thing, can't I? What else we got? Tactical Officer, Pivot Wing, and Garvin Jayesh with a Crackshot. Jacek Tomaszewski is playing Boba Fett with 000, but Debris Gambit, Han Solo, Marauder. Well, the Marauder would come before Han Solo. And Guri with Lone Wolf, Advanced Sensors, Virago, Shield Upgrade. Let's go. Let's see. I want to see some aggressive play. I want to see some exciting play. I want to see Guri and Bobby, Bobby and Gura knife fighting at range 1 of those B-wings. Like a barroom brawl. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Once again, let me point out to you that this is a charity tournament. We are supporting a little girl who has recovered from a stage 4 brain tumour, who was lucky enough to survive the operation to remove it, and is having an ongoing treatment, and we are raising money to help with that. We've already raised 7,000 Polish zloty, which they tell me is worth about 2,000 euros. Has Guri got Star Viper, has she? Virago, yep, okay, so there's another shield on there. Another thing I haven't done yet. Tab. Sync and activate sheets. Thank you for the heads up. Any money that is raised through Twitch this weekend will be going straight to help that little girl with her medical costs.
Ona zrobi boost przed manewrem i 4 do przodu. Tutaj będzie 3 do przodu.
So if you do have Twitch Prime subscriptions, now's the moment to put them in, as that will be money going straight to helping a little girl recovering from a stage 4 brain tumor.
I zostawię tutaj. Możemy lecieć dalej.
Those eagle-eyed of you will have noticed, or will notice as time goes on, that the card for the U-Wing is not Cassian Andor. Nope. Because it's Magva Yara, for some reason he brought the wrong card. Still one shield missing? Oh, she got... What, she get 2? Did she got one somewhere else? Oh, she got shield upgrade as well. Wow. Okay, this is the Pill GC special. No, I remember this. Okay, sync and activate shields. There we go. Now she's up to full health and ready to go. Thank you for all for the reminders. I need to put that in. It's negligent of me to not have done it already. It was something that when I first did the software, and I just like, yeah, man, and just went straight into it. And then when second edition came out, I was just like, so many cards, I've not got time to look at them all. And even though I knew shield upgrade, something I just got to get around to doing. Like I said, the next couple of weeks is going to be very intensive with stream software development, where I'm going to fix that sort of stuff. Fix the stuff where if you come up with barrage rockets, it shows up twice because it's 2 upgrade slots, and try and work on a new overlay that includes the ship cards, the player cards, the cards on the screen to show you what the list is.
Po prostu możesz mnie bałą tutaj dojechać, tak? Dobra. Spakusiłem. Bądźmy uczciwi.
Playing on the 2019 system open map.
Będzie biały niestety.
I like it. I like the fact the Death Star's on there.
Boba. Jeden bank.
Well, I would prefer to have seen it reversed. I'd have preferred to have seen the Yavin be larger and the Death Star smaller, as if like they were flying from Yavin to the Death Star. Which is, I mean, you can still do it. They're flying from Yavin to the Death Star and they're arriving at the Death Star. That's why the Death Star's closer.
Okay.
But, you know, I would have liked to see it a bit different.
I 4 do przodu.
I code on my own. There you go. I do it myself. I am not a professional programmer. I was trained to be one, but then couldn't find employment in that field in the aggressive market that was London at the time, in the early 2000s, and kind of jumped about from job to job before eventually falling in love with a young lady from Spain and deciding I had nothing to really tie me to London, and so I might as well go live in Spain. One hit, one focus, one make, and another hit makes 3 when he spends the focus token, gets 2 blanks. I'm seeing a lot of green blanks today.
A, 3.
I reckon if you watch the System Open stream later, you'll be seeing greens rolling hot. I reckon that's the balance of the universe. Is that I'm going to get a bit philosophical in a minute, and I'm sure you'll find it hilarious. 3 hits. What happened? He lost 3 shields on Braylon Strong.
Czyli zostaje raz.
And 1 down on Boba Fett. Yep. Okay. 1 hit, rolls blanks. Boba takes another damage.
Dzisiaj tu nie widzę,
No nie, za daleko.
Now I'm getting hot. I get the impression here Boba and Guri are going to make short work of them. Yeah. So philosophically speaking, when we talk about balance and how, you know, when people tell you, you know, that like your dice can't be that bad, they must roll average. That supposes that the universe is restricted to what's in your hand. Whereas I've always kind of theorized that, like, for example, can one person be more lucky than another person? I say yes, because the 2 equal themselves out and the universe stays in balance as such. So what I'm saying is here we've been seeing a lot of blanks on green dice. I reckon if you watch the System Open stream this evening from Phoenix, you'll see a lot of hot rolling green dice, and that will be the universe in balance. That one dice doesn't have to roll equally as long as all dice everywhere even out. Yeah. So yeah, regarding the software, I do it myself. I use Visual Studio and C#. No, C.NET. I use C.NET. It's actually, the thing is, and here's part of the reason why it's always been my solution that I've used for myself, and it's not something I really share out because it's kind of cobbled together. I've not got the timer on screen. Let me go double check what time we're on.
Czy ty się pierwszy wyszło?
Nie,
Dobra.
piątki.
Uwaga. Tu pierwszy.
They C#. 1 hour 2.
Akcja Ulinga to będzie... Akcja Ulinga, ein moment. Żebym sobie
There we go.
nie przeszkodził.
Yeah, C.NET and combination of things. HTML, Amazon Web Services is in there somewhere. I did. Do you know what? Here's the bit you'll find funny. Is now there are fonts. There are style. We've got the X-Wing fonts, that YASB uses and stuff like that. To begin with, those things didn't exist, and I had to do them all myself. I made my own fonts. Where basically what I had to do was I had to, when possible, when I could, I had to basically get the PDFs of the facts and the rules off the website, and basically rip the font glyphs out of the PDFs to make my own fonts for the upgrade symbols and stuff like that. And then when a font didn't exist in that format, then I'd have to kind of create it myself in vectors. It's not fun. It's very, very tiresome. But yeah, I got there in the end, and I had everything working fine. And then the fonts become a lot more prevalent and standardized, and so I was just like, okay, I can start using these now. And now, if you actually go into the FFG web app, you can actually get their font. And if you dig really, really deep, you can find unspoiled information. Just saying.
Niewątpliwie będzie boost.
Nothing big, but like upgrade icons that haven't been released yet. No. Points is a no. They're doing that, as far as I can tell, from the back end, they're doing that the old-fashioned way. It looks like, you can pretty much see how everything works. It's like when they released the PDF documents. And this is an error on their part, in my opinion. And I'm all for the existence of alternative squad builders, such as what's it called, Launch Bay, YASB, Rifos's YASB, and all that sort of stuff. But I personally think it's a bit of a flaw on the part of FFG to release the PDFs and then have the app guys update the app at a later time, basically just giving the community the opportunity to update their third-party apps and make those more up-to-date than the official app, which I think is an error on the part of FFG. We should be trying to standardize the experience, and even though the official app has got problems,
Weźmy sobie, tak?
We should be trying to help
I
it get better
donikowanie z 4 kości.
Zobacz, czy to jest jeden.
Jest na pewno.
instead of just saying it's okay. I've got a different thing to use.
Przerzut z marudera.
O kurde. I... A idź pan z tym. Z Braillem. To 4. Braille na spodzielamy zostało.
And here's the other thing: is that when I was working on, when I was doing first edition software, the stuff for first edition, it was a nightmare because of how many apps there were, how many builders there were, and how every single builder, whether you like it or not, had a slightly different way of doing things as far as the XWS format was concerned. There were all sorts of discrepancies, and as far as I can tell, that might still be the case. 3 blanks.
I ten. Też do góry.
No damage. And he gets 2 hits on that one. Blank, blank, focus.
Przepraszam, Lone Wolf.
What happened there? Oh, he spent Lone Wolf. Loses 2.
Tyle.
I jeszcze... Aha, tu nie możesz strzelać, tak? Na pewno nie może?
Tak, jak jesteś w zero od skały, nie możesz strzelać.
A tam nie widzi, nie? Raczej nie.
Znaczy widzi, tylko nie ma zasięgu.
Dobra.
Dobra.
I agree with what you're saying regarding the official app. I agree. I think, speaking candidly, I think the big issue is that. How do I explain? It was something that was always said by the X-Wing developers, Alex Davey, Frank Brooks, that they had a difficulty in respect to the points cost was printed on the card and that was it. They couldn't do anything about it. The cards were printed and that was it. They couldn't be changed. And so they had to work within those parameters. It's not like a computer game where you could just update it, okay? And so that was basically foreshadowing of the fact they were already working on 2.0 in those days when we were going back to like Wave 6 at this point. No, when was the first time they said something like that? I think it was like Wave 8, when Wave 8 came out, or just after Jump Master, when it was like, yeah man, you know, well that's it, it's printed now, we can't do anything about it. They were basically foreshadowing the fact they were already working on a second edition where they could do this. They would not, their point values and intrinsic information would not be printed onto the cards, and that they were wanting to move into a more hybrid experience, which is something that, if you ask me, is something that the board game market is not taking full advantage of at this time. But I'm going to get into a long diatribe now about board games, the board game market. But they're trying to use apps and board games combined, you know, and there's a lot of strength there to be used as far as artificial intelligence is concerned, as far as machine learning is concerned, as far as creating a more intrinsic and a less cluttered experience. Yeah. So, for example, you know, it's getting to the point now where you've got so many tokens in your play area, you've got to keep track of stuff, and that you can use software to try and improve that experience, to make it a bit more easy to handle. For example, when you play Zombicide, what have I missed? He's lost a shield? Oh yeah, okay. Braylon Strom. 3 damage cards. That's fine. Yes. Okay, so when you play Zombicide and you've got those fiddly little cards and you've got your little flimsy board and your experience counter, and it's the least haptic experience you can expect to have, whereas and the Zombicide deck where you've got to like shuffle them and pull out a card for each zombie that spawns, this should be stuff, and they've got an app. Zombicide has an app, but it's not quite up to scratch. And that's the same sort of thing, is that? So the board game market is having a lot of difficulty finding a way of leveraging this interactive experience, and I think it's something that's very important, and they should be trying harder to try and capture, because it's the future. But I can explain why I think it's the future, and I'll probably wait till the next planning phase for that, because it's a bit of a longer discussion.
stawka tylko. Możemy go cofnąć.
Dobra, był. Już nie będziemy się przecież ściskać.
On z koordynacji daje beczkę. Dobrze?
Dobrze?
Zacznijmy od tego na dole. Zrobi 2 break, tak?
Tak?
Bob, I don't see
Może tego drugiego.
I don't see Bob being in a good position right now. He did an excellent attack last round. Obviously missed while I was talking. You must have had full advantage to those range roll and rerolls.
I on robi dalej. Ciebie?
Beczka. Dobra.
Został ostatni i on robi czerwony nawrót na dwójce. Tak, na dwójkę.
That's an interesting choice of maneuver.
Stres.
From 10.
Nie, jeszcze X.
Obviously the stress is something that helps him, but I don't know why he wanted to turn his back on Guri. Whereas Garvin wants to close range on Boba. I don't know.
Beczkę już robi. Może. Nie chcę, weźmie oko po prostu. I działaj.
3 bank. Weźmie target locka.
Ja go tam nie widzę, tak?
Nie sądzę. Nie mogę tego sprawdzić teraz. Boba. Jeden do przodu.
Yeah.
Czy mnie tu widzisz?
Okay, Garvin. Get ready. Because here it comes.
No chyba nie.
Nie mogę tego sprawdzić teraz. Który to jest tak scharatany? Ten, tak? A ten jest drugi częściowy scharatany. Dobrze, ja wezmę sobie fokus. Po prostu.
No chyba, że już tu ładnie wleci.
Dobra. Czy tak? Guri dostanie oko za to, że ma statek w jedynce.
No.
Czy on jest w jedynce? Nie, więc to nie działa. Dobrze, no to najpierw Guri. Z 4 kostek
Tego
dodajmy.
obitego, tak?
Tak. Target lock?
Będzie po poziomku.
I na ilu ona została? Na 2.
So after spending the target lock, he's got 2 hits, a crit, and a focus.
No to hit.
The Ewing range rolls.
Co na pewno nie
No,
ma,
yes.
nie?
Nie
Braylon,
ma to żadnego znaczenia.
Braylon be
Albo
dead.
po piątce jest, tak? Schodzi.
Tak. Boba. Na 2. Czy tam jest skała? Jest. Czyli masz 3 kości. Tak, Maruder?
Okay, 1 hit, 1 blank, and then our blank gets re-rolled for a hit.
Brawo.
Gets 2 evades, so Garvin didn't come out that bad after all.
To najpierw zobaczmy, czy Brewing.
Cassian fires on Guri. Yeah? Oh, okay.
No, poza arkiem jest.
10 numb.
Będzie. No to tylko ten
What pilot skill is Cassian?
dwójce.
Dwójca albo trójka.
So we must be free.
Dwójca. I będę miał 3 kości.
Blank, blank hits. Rolls 2 evades, 3 evades.
X-Wing?
Yeah.
X.
Garvin isn't
Znaczy
out.
tego Boba nie wiem, czy nie widzi.
Nie.
Wymanewrowałeś wszystkich.
And
Starałem
they
się.
go back to Dials. Okay, so yeah, one of the things I was talking about earlier is the interactive experience of board games and taking advantage of modern technologies. For example, what I was trying to get at was the resurgence of the board game market in the early mid-2000s was something that I personally attribute to the video games market. From the early 80s up until the early 2000s, video games took over the place of board games in homes. No, so for example, you can see in the new series of Stranger Things, the kids are moving from having played a board game from the first series to now being addicted to arcade games and wanting to go to the arcade every week in series 3. This was basically what happened, is that suddenly we had a more interactive experience that was a lot easier to set up. You know, you didn't have to spend 20 minutes of setup to play this game, to keep kids entertained, to play with each other. And that was the important thing, is that you were playing with each other. You would sit down, you'd play Super Mario, and you'd play 2 people together at the same time. If it was Super Mario, if it was the original Super Mario, then Super Mario Bros. You had to take turns, but it still worked. And things went on. You would have experiences in the 16-bit days where it was like simultaneous co-op, like Toe Jam and Earl and stuff like that. And I think we hit an apogee with GoldenEye on the N64, where suddenly 4 people were playing. And so people would come round and they would play together, and they would spend all night playing together and stuff like that. Then after that is when we started to hit the graphics intensive age in the early 2000s, where we wanted to do first-person shooters that were like with high quality graphics, which meant that processors weren't able to render 2 separate points of view at the same time because of the high demand they were putting on them. So suddenly split screen games such as, like, for example, when Halo 3 came out, was it Halo 3? Halo 3 came out, there was an uproar because Microsoft turned around and said, no, you're not going to be able to play split screen this time. And there was a big everyone kicked off, because it was like that was a way people were coming together to play games, was to have a 4-player split screen. But it was detrimental to the output of the actual console to be able to do multiplayer experiences like that. So then once again, as co-op gameplay, video games started to disappear, board games started to resurge, because once again it was a co-op experience. You were playing games with your friends. U-wing switches its pivot wing title to closed and turns 90 degrees. And so basically the point is that what I'm saying here is that you've got people that have grown up with video games, and that's part of the reason why the local co-op is part of the reason why some of the best-selling video games in the world right now are things like FIFA. Well, FIFA's one of the highest-selling games in the world. I don't know if John Madden allows local multiplayer, but I think it does, and it's the American version of FIFA. You know, like everybody has it. And then you've got your online multiplayer games, but like the things that people come round and play together when their friends come round, you know. Madden, FIFA, that sort of experience, and those are the ones that are so immensely popular worldwide, because they're giving you that experience, the ability to have your friends come around, sit down, just play a game without a whole bunch of setup, explaining rules and stuff like that. And that's something that they need to try and include now, is take advantage of new technologies to streamline that experience, to make it easier for people to not have to have the rules explained to them by a person always, but like to use an app to kind of explain to them. It's hard to explain. It's kind of like, I tried to explain Arkham Horror LCG to some people recently, and it took a lot of effort to get understood exactly what they had to do, especially if it's something that they're not that into. And that's what basically drives people away from games instead of driving them toward games, is the barrier to entry, is how complicated we make it seem.
Tu dostanę fokus za statek w jedynce. No i co, no do tego numba trzeba będzie postrzelać, 4 kostki. Target lock?
Kombinujecie myszki, kochane.
I fokus. 3, czyli hit i 2 kryty.
Wyciek paliwa.
Czy jak dostanie kryt, to... Dobra. Czy Boba ma tu w zasięgu? Przytrzymasz to? Ma. walnie do winga, to dlaczego nie? Nie? Powinieneś mieć jedną kostkę.
Ale zasięg 3.
Przepraszam. No to 2.
Góry nie widzę.
More than anything, if you're still listening, Sir George,
Jaki masz, to chyba
it seems to be something that'd be complicated to integrate into a normal overlay, a constant overlay you've got. But I'm losing stuff while I'm talking. But I can imagine having a separate overlay, like I do, for example, the.
Idźmy dalej.
Wiesz, góry mnie tam wystrzela.
To jest straszne.
And you got a fuel leak on 10 num. Right. Everything else up to date.
Z niego usuwam stres.
It would be something that you could do quite well in an alternative overlay. For example, when I have the rankings overlay or the top bracket overlay, have a separate overlay that maybe shows you that information. You can take advantage of this dead time in between rounds when they're on the planning phase to kind of put more information on the screen. I understand what you're saying.
Ściągnę do winda.
One of the things I'll say for second edition is that a lot more games seem to be going to time. There seems to be a lot more. I think the expanding to half points on so much stuff basically meant that
Kto pierwszy leci? Jeden do przodu.
that you had to be a lot more cautious about every single maneuver you made. You know, 2 whole points lost on a TIE fighter gave away points.
Wróciłem i on robi. Co on robi? Daje Tenowi targetaka.
Dobrze?
Góry.
Dobra?
Ten robi jeden z obrotem.
Sore back now as well. It's a lovely day here in Zielona Góra, Poland. There's a crisp layer of snow on the ground outside. It's such a cool experience. I've not seen real snow in a long time. So the first thing I did when Pavel, who I'm staying with Pavel, and we were driving in, and he was like, "Oh, hang on a minute, I've just got to get the ice, or get the car warmed up." While I was waiting, he was just like, "I'll just make a snowball and throw it against the wall."
Dwie kości po jednym, zależy co było.
Oh, I messed that one.
Meczkowanie czy nie, wezmę sobie fokus.
Bob has managed to come around. He's focusing up.
Tutaj. Jeden do przodu.
And Guri is going to make a mess of 10 num.
Mogę mieć target locka w łatkiem i go po prostu nabić.
No do góry to ładnie tam porobi.
I tak też zrobię, no najwyżej przyjmę te 4. Będzie target lock i na początku fazy dostanę tak.
Dobra.
No to co, no to strzelę, tak? Najpierw strzelę z boby.
Tak, bez kamyczka. Z kamyczkiem.
Z kamyczkiem?
Boba z kamyczką, Bo jak mierzysz tak łatwą go tu w arku nie masz, zobacz, idzie tutaj. Bo to musisz po arku boby.
Słusznie, masz rację. Z kamyczkiem. Z kamyczkiem i to jest dwójka.
Range 2. Bobber on 10. Doesn't look like it's obstructed. Gets 3. Oh, it must be obstructed because he's rolling 2 dice. So it takes 2 damage here. Right.
Niezwykle.
And yeah,
Do niego?
not critical damage to fuel leak.
Tak, on przerzuca, bo jest krzywo. Masz jedną kość
2
na
plus
obronę
2
i jesteś na dół,
focuses.
tak?
Yeah, definitely the
Ale jest
focuses.
ukryt, więc przyjmiesz kryta,
Oh, is
więc
it?
zginiesz. Zostawię.
Then it's got to be focuses. And that's a focus.
Czwarty, tak? Aleś panie porobił tam górę.
Dead 10
No, ona
numb.
taka ma. Tylko, że ja zwykle nie umiem latać jakoś
To
wyjątkowo.
jest piątka.
On nie odda. No co? X-Wing teraz. X-Wing może walnąć do Boby. To jest chyba 2. Tak. Będę miał przygość.
X do doby w dwójce. I wydoko.
No.
3 against 2. Bobber takes a shield.
No to tylko w tej grze.
I
Czekaj, wezmę ten sprawdzę.
na styku,
Jest. Dobra, przez kamyczek też.
ale
Mam 3 kości, pewnie. Pójdę do niego.
I've done this already.
I fokus. No to 2. Boba jest połowiony.
Yeah, takes another damage. And a face down card.
kona.
Half points on Boba Fett, but I don't think it's going to make much difference now. We're down to Garvin and Cassian against Boba and Guri. And just those names don't seem to stack up well against each other.
To co? Lecimy dalej.
Oh, I already did have... Dumbass.
Mogę?
Pewnie.
You ready to go?
Nie, mieścisz się. Średnie postaci są fajne, mieszczą się ładnie.
Zmieścił się i on daje oko.
Ale odsłoń, żeby się tam na streamie nie przepięli.
Tak, tak.
I ten robi 4 poja. Ładnie. To mnie ładnie.
4K turn from Garvin. And closes the S foils.
No raz może mi się poszczęścić. Nie możesz samą górę wykręcić.
The S foils, the pivot wings, I should say.
Myśliłem jeden ostry. I niestety ten jeden ostry nie wszedł. Czekaj, wezmę przedłużkę, położę sobie z tyłu. Już tak? Bardziej nawet się wykręcił, coś takiego.
Coś takiego.
Okej. No to nie robię akcji, bo bąknął. A malutka zrobi co? Malutka zrobi... Gdzie jest jeden bak? To jest co?
To jest target lock na niej. Tak. Czekaj, że zapomniałem. Piątka to było powinno.
Zrobię jeden do przodu. Okej. Dostanę oczko. Czy tu chcesz dostać stres, czy chcesz, żebym dostał kalkulację?
Chcę dostać stres. Mogę dostać stres.
Dobra. No to co? Góry pierwsze.
Tego chyba nie bić.
Not going to end well this round for Marek.
Obi jest 4.
Cassian is going to be gone out. So,
Fokus czy nie wyda?
2 hits, 2 focuses.
Fokusem z 3 kości. Nie będę chciał zostawić.
No co to za rzuty?
Co, tarcza i...
And they go in.
Hit.
Chyba weźmie oko.
And now Bobber returns the favour. With a focus thanks to Han Solo.
O jest.
1, 2, 3 and a crit.
To jest jakaś para
A nie.
z tymi rzutami.
Co to jest? No, no.
2 blanks.
Nie.
No, that's a dead Cassian. 1,
Czyli to są
2, 3,
4
4.
3 i kryt.
Still worth turning around, waiting to see what the crit is, but
Oj.
doesn't deal the cards.
Gdybyś wcześniej tak rzucał, to byś w finale jeszcze jakiś.
No jakbym takie miał rzuty przez resztę gier, to tak.
Dobra,
Do góry.
2 hits
Proszę mnie, jak pół
from
godziny
Garvin.
zostało do końca.
Guri rolls 2 evades. No damage there. Garvin here against two of the most aggressive scum players going. About to be broken up? No, is it Guri's not, or the Star Viper at least isn't hyperspace legal? They're about to be separated. I did have.
On jest nieruszony.
no ale sam na Bobę i góry
Ciężko będzie.
ciężka walka. Kurde, one kości na defa teraz zrobiły.
No.
Yeah?
You alive?
Yeah?
Coffee?
I'm fine. So is your one live? But even though the screen's locked like that? Yeah. Oh, right, okay.
Just press Windows L and it locks.
Okay.
Well, we don't have anything to do basically. You just
No, yeah, I was just surprised it was still able to go. I never thought about doing it myself, you know? Just like, and I walked past and I saw the camera light was on, and so I figured it must be. Okay.
it's just Legion, and it's like you just write down the rules.
Yeah. So there you go. You can watch the Legion stream here at twitch.tv/Farmersy. Farmersy.
Weźmie loka.
That's basically farmer
Zrobi 3 słów.
ending in YZ, isn't it?
YS.
It's a Z.
Yeah.
Z. YZ. Okay. For the British people, YZ. For the Americans, YZ.
No, it's CY.
Farmersy. That's right. FARMERZY. That's right. There we go. Okay, so search FARMERZY on Twitch, and you'll find the the Legion stream. You can probably still hear me talking on that as well, huh?
O, teraz.
No?
Teraz.
No teraz tak.
Oh, it's muted. Okay.
Moje nie.
Okay, here we go. So he's got a shield coming off of Garvin now.
Guri.
Fury's turn. Range 1. Nope, range 2. 1, 2, and a blank. And spends to get nothing, and spends target lock, doesn't get nothing, gets 1 evade, and loses shield again.
A późno.
Meaning that Garvin is just kind of trying to hold on with half an hour to go. Not going to happen. Not with Guri's curly barrel rolls behind him. Okay. So Garvin takes a 2-bank left.
Coś mi to da.
Trzy do przodu. Czyści stres.
3 straight. Yeah, clears the stress because it's green, and Garvin hasn't escaped.
Dobra. Jeden łagodny.
He's already rolling the green dice. Like, okay, here we go. He's getting the green dice ready. Bob has not even moved. Bob just slowly comes around, lining up a 1 turn. Right next turn. To pincer him if he somehow manages to escape, but I don't see it being much of a likelihood. Well, he's got to get 4 hits. Yeah, I suppose there's every single chance that Garvin walks away from this round, but gets 2 focuses, 4 hits.
Rozumiem.
Got a blank out. He's got 1 blank. One's evade, so he's taken 3 damage.
Hit, crit.
There's a crit there.
Może koniec.
Może.
That's a what's it? Blinded panic.
Czerwony pilot.
One of the pilots. I don't remember which one. The last one.
Czyli
Panicked, wounded, blinded pilot.
oba to wiadomo.
No, panicked, wounded. Well, just look at your cheat sheet, Simon. Stunned pilot. Dun 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 dun. Stunned pilot. Not going to make any difference. Down to 1 whole point.
Proszę.
Bob are going to take a 1 hard to the left.
Koń.
Garvin takes a 3 turn to the left. But Bob are going to go to the right. Sorry, just in the 1 turn to the right. Oh no, he talent rolls. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Tutaj będzie 2 ostre.
Yeah. 2 turn left. Can just stop there, park there if he wants to. Or he could barrel roll, curly barrel roll right and forwards. Avoid the arc. No, he's got what he
Nawet
needs.
nie wyleciałem za stół. Siedzi.
Bob has got a boost to it, hasn't he?
Tu zrobi boosta.
No way you're walking away from this one, Garvin. And they're firing before
Tu
you,
jestem w
so
jedynce. Jestem w jedynce, więc dostanę fokus.
Ma 1 HP, to wiesz. Musiałbym nie wiem co zrobić. Musiałbym nie wiem co wrzucić.
Target lock.
blank, repeats the target lock, gets 4.
No to jak 4 hity
It's like
cały
3 and
czas
a
góry
crit.
wciska. Proforma.
Game is over.
Czyli była kolejna. I nie ma ziomka. No nic.
Dzięki.
Look at that, he had a disabled power regular and a hull breach under there. Okay, cool. That was a good game. It took some time, and it was basically
Ciężko się
methodical,
przeciwko temu
but
latać.
it was a good game. Let me
Wiesz,
go talk to
były
them.
na początku, że ta góry mnie tam wiesz.
No,
Gnoiła.
ona karci strasznie. Jak ma wszystkie statki latające przez nią, to...
No i lipa kości. Po... Sak.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
My pleasure.
Sorry, man. You did the best you could. It was a bit crazy, huh?
It was crazy. I mean, I usually roll very poorly, but you've seen I've rolled only hits and,
did
and
pretty well,
evades,
yeah.
and hits and evades.
The red dice you've had pretty hot, yeah. Some of the green dice I've been seeing have been pretty blanking out quite a lot. Quite a lot of green dice.
Not that
blanking out.
much, yeah.
Not that much in this game, no, but other games as well. I've been saying it's like kind of crazy. But anyway, so this was, what were your records now?
I
be
won.
4 and
At
1?
this moment, I won third game.
Okay, so you've
I have
You've
3
won
won
3,
and 2
2.
lost 2. Yeah.
2 losses. And you
I was 3-1.
as well. So now you're
3-2.
3-2. Oh, so you were slightly higher than he was. You came in 2-2 and you came in 3-1.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, guys.
Was a pleasure.